Vermont misses the mark on emission reduction requirements.
That's the forecast of a recent state report. Our Sophia Thomas joins us live in the studio to explain why and what needs to change. Sophia.
Alyssa and John, Vermont is required to reduce its emissions by 26% by this year. But recent data hints that we're off target and digging a deeper hole for future reduction. As 2025 crept closer, Energy Action Network's Jared Duvall kept a close eye on fuel sales data, but the numbers weren't moving in the direction he hoped.
It was very clear to us that we were not on track to meet the first legal obligation of the Global Warming Solutions Act.
That's a law requiring Vermont to decrease emissions by 26% from 2005 levels by 2025. If we don't, Vermonters can sue the state. Preliminary projections show Vermont is 1% above the 2025 requirement.
Was somewhat unexpected.
The state found Vermont's fossil fuel sales for heating decreased by 4.8% in 2024, but gas and diesel sales increased by 3%. It's a small change, but it's not enough. Julie Moore at the Agency of Natural Resources says she expected to be slightly below the requirement, but isn't disheartened by the miss.
I would argue that being within 1% of the target on something as large in scale as statewide greenhouse gas emissions is pretty incredible, and tells a compelling story that we took steps, meaningful steps to achieve that goal.
Some environmental advocates see it differently. Duvall says every year we miss the mark is a lost opportunity, and it could make it harder for Vermont to meet its 2030 reduction requirement of 40%.
If we're already behind the eight ball, it doesn't bode well for being able to meet the 2030 obligation without really concerted policy efforts and investments, which we're just not seeing right now.
While the state pushes EVs and efficient heating amidst federal cuts to climate action, Moore backs Governor Scott's proposal to scale back emission requirements and remove the lawsuit provision of the Global Warming Solutions Act.
Litigation creates uncertainty, and uncertainty slows progress. And I think it cuts against the important work we need to do to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
The state is still finalizing 2024 emission data from sectors like agriculture, which could bring us closer to or farther from the 2025 requirement. Duvall estimates it would take a significant 400,000-ton reduction to bring us up to compliance.
This is not a small difference.
When it comes to lawsuits, Moore says she's most concerned with the consequences of missing the much larger 2030 target. John and Alyssa.